This is a week that had some very bad news. Fitch Rating Services downgraded the U.S. credit to AA+, down from AAA. May not seem like a big deal, but it is a big deal. It's the first time it's happened since 1994. Interestingly and shockingly not, the Biden administration immediately came out after this downgrade, and they said, oh, it's because of Trump. Trump hasn't been president in 3 years. Had nothing to do with Donald Trump. Under Donald Trump, we did not lose our credit rating. It downgraded after 3 years of Joe Biden. Right. But they say, no, it wasn't anything the Biden team did. It was Trump's fault. I swear, I think they blame Trump for the kidnapping of the Lindbergh baby. I think they believe he was the one who brought down the Hindenburg. And he probably was seen running from Ford's Theater the night of the Lincoln assassination. That Donald Trump has been everywhere. It's amazing what he has gotten himself into. Well, there is a mayor in New York, Eric Adams, and he used to brag about New York City being a sanctuary city. Boy, they're not like those people down on the Texas border that wanted to put up a wall. No, sir. New York is a sanctuary city. Come on to New York. Well, by gosh, they did. And now there are so many illegal immigrants in New York, they don't know what to do with them. So here's Eric Adams, the newly discovered, gee, please shut the border down.
Eventually, this was going to come to a neighborhood near you. Having someone embedded is a good start. That came from the Secretary of Homeland Security. We want to thank him. But I've been very clear on what we need. We need to control the border. We need to call a state of emergency, and we need to properly fund this national crisis.
Oh, my goodness, amazing. Now he sounds like a Republican. There's an old saying that a conservative is a liberal who got mugged. And I think it's sort of an indication. Eric Adams is the liberal who got mugged. And now he realizes he really believes in law and order, shutting the border down. We can't let a week go by without giving you an update on a very healthy diet of Kamala Harris word salad. This is, this is an interesting thing. Her polling, we said his is lower, Biden's lower than Congress. Hers is lower than his. Watch.
Reports to say that you have the lowest approval rating of any vice president. I'm curious how much of a role, if any, that you feel race and gender play in that.
Well, there are polls that also say I have great approval ratings.
Really? What are those? The terrible moment for that reporter was the lack of follow-up. Because if I'd been asking the question, which was kind of a bold question, you have the lowest approval ratings of any vice president in history, what do you say about that? And she says, oh, no, some polls show I'm doing great. I would have sent, what polls were those? Can you name one of them? Because I haven't seen them. So just tell me what they are, and we'll do a little research, a little fact-checking there, and find out what could that possibly be. Now, we know that Kamala Harris is an expert at all things policy, and here she is talking about criminal justice reform and restructuring criminal justice.
And it includes what we need to do, for example, with the pipeline, and that is about restructuring and thinking about how we restructure, how we think about what causes people to enter the system, and addressing those things.
That's kind of how I feel watching her.
That's perfect.
Well, here's the thing about that. When she's just talking around in circles and basically says, we need to find out why people enter this pipeline of the criminal justice system. Here's a clue for you. They committed a crime. That's how they got into the criminal justice system. It's real simple. You commit a crime, you get in that pipeline, and you end up going to prison. Problem solved, Kamala. Save the taxpayers a lot of money. She delivered some remarks regarding space exploration to the Mongolian Prime Minister. I think the funniest thing is not listening to her, although you'll have to listen. Watch the expression on his face as he's probably thinking to himself, what the heck is she talking about?
Particular, we will discuss the work that we will do together to strengthen our space cooperation. You and I spoke briefly about the beginning of the next era, and for you, what that means in terms of your leadership and your vision for the future. And certainly strengthening our space cooperation would be a part of that agenda, including, of course, using our space cooperation to think about how we strengthen the economic prosperity and development of our nations.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
I think that's one of my favorite movie clips of all time from the movie Billy Madison with Adam Sandler. And honestly, every time I hear Kamala speak, I think that we ought to be playing that clip.
Yeah, we need that on standby.
Just put it on a loop
24/7.
because it perfectly fits. And all of us here are dumber from what you've just said.
We'll never get that minute back.
We'll never get that minute back, indeed. If you don't think our culture is in trouble, we've got a couple of clips. This first one is a Louis Vuitton store in Los Angeles. This is being just in the middle of the day, openly robbed, and we follow that with another video of Irvine, California jewelry store where $900,000 of merchandise taken. Watch these clips. This is the Louis Vuitton store. These are people just rushing out. This is the jewelry store in Irvine. They bring in hammers, middle of the day, and they just smash the showcases. And in this time that you see, they take $900,000 worth of jewelry. And you know what happened to those people who did that? Nothing. Nothing. Nothing happened to them. That's why they keep doing it. Hey, Mike Huckabee here. Listen, if you love your mom, apple pie, and being conservative, you know you ought to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and click the like button, and show all the leftists out there that conservatives are thriving and patriotism is far from dead. Am I pandering too much? No way. I'm just getting started.